trust with cousin versus cousin.
I cleaned up my credit and then this happens. He tells me, I'm gonna pay. Nothing.
She is crazy.
Crazy enough to put a phone in your name on her phone bill.
Exactly.
That's the first craziness.
God wants you to pay your bills back too when you owe people money.
Amen.
And later, family, faith, and friends doesn't mean you'll get quality furniture.
You're paying for one thing and you think you're going down the path, and then decide the guy is totally doing something different. We were conned.
I agreed to get it done in a reasonable amount of time.
Okay, do you not think that 6 weeks is a reasonable amount of time for a 7-day project?
Plaintiff Delissa Owens is suing her cousin for unpaid phone bills and damage to her credit. Defendant Avian Newsom says Delissa's collection tactics harmed him so much, he's countersuing for emotional damage and defamation of character.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Judge, this is Owens versus Newsom.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Owens, you've brought the defendant to court today because you state that he owes you for an unpaid phone bill and for ruining your credit. You're suing him for $1,317. Mr. Newsom, you say you don't owe the plaintiff anything because she prevented you from getting a job to pay these bills. In fact, you say she owes you for $2,500 for emotional stress and defamation of character. Ms. Owens, I'll hear from you first.
This is my cousin. We're like brother and sister, and basically I was doing him a favor and he screwed me. I went about getting him a cell phone.
Why couldn't he get his own cell phone?
Because he had basically bad credit.
All right, so what was going on with your credit? Why couldn't you get a phone?
First of all, Your Honor, I want to say you're very beautiful. Second of all,
can you just answer the question?
Second of all,
flattery gets you nowhere, just so you know.
Thank you.
Second of all, she is crazy. And I feel like I've been dealing with
crazy enough to put a phone in your name on her phone bill.
Exactly.
That's the first craziness. But second of all, I feel like I'm dealing with I've been feeling like I've been dealing with baby mama drama. But I told her, I terminated the contract when I had the phone. That's because I lost my job and I was working in the oil fields and I hurt my back.
So you're saying you couldn't afford to pay her because you didn't have any money?
I paid my bill on time, but I couldn't afford to pay that bill no more, so I terminated the contract.
That's not true.
Hold on 1 second.
So my finances went down. So I went from making $1,200 a week to $300 a week.
Okay, how were you injured exactly? What was the accident?
I fell in a 9.5-foot hole and I hurt my back.
Okay, and after that, you weren't able to get employment? I
filed for unemployment. I'm looking for work in a different field, and it was hard for me to find a job. And I constantly told her, I said, once I get back on my feet, I will help you out with the phone bill. So, during this time, she still don't care. She don't care if I'm down to my last.
So you said that he was spending money on other things besides paying you back, right?
Exactly.
Tell me about that.
He starts back working. This year, he starts back working at my job, so I knew he was employed. And at that point, he was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and put something on you. I'm waiting on this lawsuit, so I don't know if he was trying to persuade me to wait or what the case was, but yeah, then he's on social medias. Oh, look at my Beamer, and look at my new Michael Kors watches, and I'm on these mini vacations, and he's living it up.
He's saying that on social media?
Yes.
Okay, first, if you had a job, why did you start paying her back?
Okay, Your Honor, I've been unemployed for a whole year. So when I started working again, I had to catch up on my rent. And I was so blessed to have a manager to understand what situation I was in, because she knew that I was owed some money. So what she did was she trusted me, and she was like, when you get your money, you can catch your rent back up, or whenever you start working. She had me on a payment plan to where I pay her a certain amount every week. I'm not going to live on the street because she wants her money.
So you're saying you had to pay for a place to live and food to eat, and those necessities were more important than paying her back at the time?
Yes.
But did you tell her that you were going to pay her back eventually?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me see the Facebook post you're talking about.
I object to that because obviously he wasn't just trying to live. He was trying to live the high life with that.
Let's take a look at these on the plasma. Okay, so this is a Facebook post from you.
Okay, that's him saying basically how he's blessed to have his Michael Kors watch. And now Michael Kors doesn't come for like $10.
My new Michael Kors watch, blessed is all I can say.
Blessed, all right. Yes.
Did you write that?
Yes, I did indeed.
You bought a Michael Kors watch?
Yes, I got it on credit.
I'm sorry, on what?
Credit.
Let's go to the next Facebook post.
Should credit that phone bill. And look
Thank
at here.
God for blessing me with my new car. Hard work pays off when you keep God first.
But hard work doesn't pay cell phone bills.
So you
it pays
bought
for
a
Beamers.
new car?
Yes. But this is after. This is like recently.
Well, it was after you borrowed the money from her and promised to pay her back for the phone.
No,
See, you can understand why she's upset because you're not paying her back, but you're on Facebook bragging and boasting, like a lot of people do on Facebook, about purchases you've made and isn't God good and giving him all the credit. God wants you to pay your bills back too when you owe people money.
Amen.
Okay, Your Honor.
Amen.
Next photo. Is that you?
Yeah.
Like on the beach, like he's just having a good old-fashioned time.
Enjoying my mini vacation.
Yes.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
Let me see the Facebook post. It can't be that bad.
Oh, it is.
Oh, wow.
It's very embarrassing. And that makes me not want to pay her.
And later.
Did you tell the plaintiffs that you'd only been building cabinets for a year and a half?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely not true. He actually represented that he was doing custom cabinetry work in Florida.
Delissa Owens is suing her cousin for unpaid phone bills. Defendant Avian Newsom is countersuing for emotional damage and defamation of character.
Tell me about your counterclaim, because you're getting more tragic by the minute.
Okay.
You're countersuing for defamation. What is that about?
Okay. Well, while I was working with her, we worked at the same job. While I was working with her, she was going around telling people, oh yeah, he just a trick, he trick on people and this and that, and he owed me money. So I'm going to work stressed out with people. You know, you feel the tension when you come to work, and then I come home.
Then pay her back. Pay her the money.
Right. I come home. And when I get home, my sister hit me up and she said, do you see what's on social media right now? This post that she put on about you that you owe $800 and something. You know, she kept harassing me to where I had to quit the job and find another job.
So you're a grown man.
That's not true.
You're a grown man. You can handle your own business.
You're right.
If she's harassing you about paying money back, then pay the money back. It's very simple. There's one solution to this problem. Pay her back.
I told her I was going to pay her back.
The defamation claim is about what? The Facebook post?
Yes.
Let me see the Facebook post. It can't be that bad.
Oh, it is.
Wow.
It's embarrassing.
Your Honor, to defend myself, that
Hold on one second. Let me read this.
It is very embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
It's very embarrassing. And that makes me not want to pay her. That makes me not want to give her a dime.
So does bill collectors calling your phone make you not want to pay them either?
Okay. Attention to all. Do not loan Avian Newsom. She did tag your name in this post.
That's embarrassing.
Any money.
It was on my page.
Right?
It was
He
on my
owes
front
me
page.
$860 and refuses to pay me, and I'm not the first.
Truth.
Yet he want to go around acting like he got it like that with his little old Mercedes. Please stop tricking on these females. Sell your food stamps and pay me my money so I can stop this small claims case. Listen.
And not just
Listen,
that.
let me say something. No. Let me speak. The truth may hurt. The truth may be embarrassing. The truth may make you look like a scrub, but it doesn't mean it's a defamation claim. You understand?
Hallelujah.
Because the defense to defamation is the truth. All she said was you owed her money.
Exactly.
And if you didn't like it, take down your Facebook page. You don't have to be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You don't have to be on any social media.
I did, but the thing about it, that I had to go back to work with that going on, and I really felt like it hindered my position of moving up.
The only thing that hindered you, sir, is yourself, because you don't pay back your bills and you're going on vacation. You're buying a new car. You're buying a new Michael Kors watch. You are the only hindrance to yourself because you are obviously picking and choosing what you want to spend your money on, and you have chosen not to spend your money on paying back your cousin.
And Your Honor, if I may say one more thing also, I cleaned up my credit and then this happens. He tells me, I'm going to pay. Nothing. This is the first thing
you know
that's
what?
on my
This is
credit.
a life lesson learned to you. You don't put things in your name for people who have bad credit. It means they don't pay their bills. It means they don't handle their business. You got burned because you put your faith in a family member, a cousin, because you thought he'd have your back, and he didn't. I'm ready to rule in this case. On your counterclaim, 0. You have no defamation claim because she simply got on Facebook and told the truth. She may have said it in a colorful way, but you owed her money and you admit to that.
God is good.
I can't award you for defamation of your credit history, but you are obviously owed the money for the phone bill, $816.69. My verdict is for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim is dismissed, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Plaintiffs David and Catherine Smith are suing a cabinet maker for a refund on the custom entertainment unit they had commissioned him to build. Defendant Mark Hoover says the Smiths pulled him off the project before he could finish it.
David Smith, you and your wife Catherine Smith are suing the defendant Mark Hoover, the owner of Grayson Cabinets, for $4,000 for the cost of an entertainment center renovation you said he did not complete.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with you. What happened?
We were putting our house up for sale in April 2013. We were moving our possessions in and out of a storage facility, and I had passed through there several times. I'd seen Mr. Hoover in there working, making which looked like cabinets. We talked a little bit, seemed like a very nice guy. Fast forward, we're in our new house now. We have a 13 by 9 foot opening that's 12 inches deep, perfect for a custom wall
Just a
unit.
big empty wall.
Okay, and you decided to build an entertainment center?
Yes. Mr. Hoover came over. We spent a couple hours talking about, all the things we have in common, faith, family,
Really worked
friends.
on building a friendship with us. He really, really played into us.
And so you came to an agreement about what he would do and the price you would pay him for the entertainment center,
That's
correct?
correct.
Did you put that agreement in writing?
Yes,
Okay, do you have a copy of that?
I sure did.
May I see it, please?
Absolutely.
Mr. Hoover, what's your background in making cabinets and
Yes, ma'am.
cabinetry?
I've spent the last year and a half developing the cabinet business. I went up and spent a year in Michigan and visited regularly with the Amish folks up there to learn several connecting techniques. And
How long have you been in the business? Total
for
number
about
of
a year and a
years?
half.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so you're pretty new to the business.
Very much so, yes. But I
A year and a
had
half.
17.
That's not what he
Ma'am.
represented to
That's
us.
absolutely.
He said
I had-
he had been doing this for years and years.
Your Honor,
He has
I'd like a chance
beautiful
to talk. I think
website.
that, thank you for the compliment on the website, by the way.
So,
And-
Mr. Hoover, did you tell the plaintiffs that you'd only been building cabinets for a year and
Yes,
a
ma'am.
half?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
That is
Absolutely
not
not
true
true.
at all.
He actually represented that he was doing custom cabinetry work in Florida.
Next on Judge Faith.
Well, there was no deadline agreed to upon this contract. I was given
No.
flexibility.
No,
I was
no,
told
sit.
that
May I-
am I going to be
may
allowed
I-
to talk?
There is no deadline in there.
There's no time frame.
But if you look
Why
at the
is that?
6, I guess it's bad on my fault.
Plaintiffs David and Catherine Smith are suing a cabinet maker for a refund on the custom entertainment unit they had commissioned him to build. Defendant Mark Hoover says he was in the middle of the job when the plaintiffs canceled his contract.
Was the total price that you agreed to pay him $5,700?
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
So you quoted them a price.
Yes, ma'am.
What did that price include?
Initially, we discussed building the custom unit off-site.
No, that's exactly what was supposed to happen
initially?
in his cabinet shop that he moved from the storage to his garage. That was part of the premise of the deal. We had built this bond because based on faith and family and all those
He was
kind of things
supposed to build
that
it all
I
off-site
believe in. We believe
and
in.
install it.
I understand that, sir, but you also have a written contract here,
Right.
and that's what the court believes in. So I'm asking about the agreement in terms of what you hired him to do. And I'd like for you to finish
Yes, ma'am.
telling me
Thank
that.
you. Thank you very much. The intention was to build them a custom entertainment center that matched a photo that they'd showed me.
Let's look at those photos.
Yeah, sure.
You can explain to me.
This is one of the pictures that they showed me.
Okay, and what's the next This is the space where you
Yes,
wanted
that's
the
the space.
entertainment center to be
And you
built?
can see.
How much did you pay him before he started working on the project?
$4,000.
Why would you ever give someone more than half up
Well,
front?
Well,
Because we were dumb.
Okay.
I mean, I
I
can't
agree
believe we
with
bought
that in part.
into
In part,
giving
yes.
him that much money up
no,
front.
we weren't
Which is
dumb.
why we ended up
Because
here.
we felt bad
Wait a
for
second.
him.
We weren't, Your Honor, I'd like to
Is
address
this how
the
you
dumb.
guys communicate all the time? I'm just curious.
We weren't dumb, as Mr. Hoover just said. We were conned. And there's a
said
huge
I
difference.
disagreed with you. I didn't
How are
say
you
it.
conned?
Well, a con is where you're paying for one thing and you think you're going down the path, and then decide the guy is totally doing something different. The whole time that we paid him the $4,000, I thought he was going to a shop.
thought,
I thought he was
yeah.
buying material. I thought he was milling it, making it, fixing it, getting it ready to bring over. If you look at the text message on April 27th.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
Because
At some point, you hire him.
Yeah.
You pay him $4,000 up front. At some point, you fire him a
Absolutely.
month down the road. Tell me why.
With nothing done.
So we have had, at this point, I think we've had probably 6 days of no-shows. A no-show for us costs us a lot of money.
One of us had
has
to
to take
take
a
off
vacation
work.
day, things like that.
What were the reasons you gave for not showing up?
Well, I don't really remember days being that pronounced in the fact that I wasn't showing up. I remember the days I did show up and how much I got
Okay,
accomplished.
great. How many days did you
what
show
exactly
up?
did you get
Excuse me,
accomplished?
ma'am.
Let him-
Excuse
I
me.
think that's what we need
Have
to
a
talk
seat.
about.
Have a seat.
Hey.
Yes,
Have a
ma'am.
seat. I can't even get a question in. You said you remember the days that you did show up.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
many days did you show up to do work in their home?
Sure, I had about 5 days of work, maybe 6.
The entertainment center that they hired you to build, how long would it take you to build something like that?
Probably about 7 to 10 days.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why you only showed up for 5 days during that period?
Well, there was no deadline agreed to upon this contract. I was given
No.
flexibility.
No,
I was
no,
told
sit.
that
Ma'am.
I'm going to be
Well, that
allowed
is
to talk.
It's in the verbal contract that we had established.
But sir, you have a
during-
written
absolutely,
contract.
Absolutely.
You have a written contract.
That's right. There
and
is no deadline in there.
There's no time frame.
But if you look
Why
at the
is that?
6, I guess it's bad on my fault.
Let's see a picture of the work that he did. I'd like to ask you to explain to me what I see there, because that looks like something I can do. And I
Okay.
barely know how to use a hammer.
Man,
so
you
tell me.
would do much better than that.
Well, this is the beginning of anything, and when you judge a person based on the beginnings or the middle of a project, it's awful hard to get to the quality level that I do build. But when I was approached by them, they told me that they didn't want me to continue on, and they wanted to actually stop the contract in
Oh, no,
process.
absolutely.
Let me ask
They
you
would
this,
not
sir.
let me
Hold on a
see.
second,
They
please.
were
Let me
not
ask you
gonna-
this. Let me ask you a question. In 6 weeks,
Yes, ma'am.
they hired you to do the project, and you agreed to do it in a certain amount of time, correct?
I agreed to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. I didn't agree to a time
Do
frame.
you not think that 6 weeks is a reasonable amount of time for a 7-day project?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is this the only work that was done in 6 weeks?
Well, they had a complaint about the fact that it was initially going to be in my facility, and then they asked me to speed up the process,
Great.
and I said
Where's
the way
proof?
to speed up
Where's the proof
was
of
to
the other work you did off-site? Show me that proof. I'd like to see it.
Well, I didn't bring that with me today.
How convenient.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
A couple of problems here. First, there's the written contract itself, and I can tell you that this is a very vague and ambiguous contract
Absolutely.
in terms of what you hired him to do. However, you, sir, come into court today and you tell me that this is a 7-day project and that it took more than 6 weeks for you to do that work that I saw in that photo. And so I find that your work was substandard as well, and you contributed to the breach in this contract. So I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to award you $2,000. Judgment is for the plaintiff.
These two former BFFs battle it out over dollar bills.
I'm a tax preparer and I'm an adult entertainer. So I dance full-time and I do taxes seasonally.
So you have no problem counting those dollar bills is what you're telling
Oh,
me.
I count money very well. If I can't do nothing else, I know how to count.
Okay.
And later, he says she put herself in the poorhouse.
Shannon had a history of not paying money.
But she says what he did next will deliver him to the doghouse.
and he kicked my dog so hard.
The reason I was there at the duplex was part of the eviction process. I had to post a
the two
notice.
of you weren't getting along, and all of a sudden, after all the times you've been over there, now all of a sudden Abby wants to attack you, so much so that you have to kick her in the head.
Licensed tax preparer and adult entertainer Casey Watson says her former BFF is too cheap to cough up the tax preparation fee she owes the plaintiff. Defendant Marlana Manoy says her former friend came to her house 3 times demanding money. Marlana claims she doesn't owe a dime until she gets her tax refund.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Watson versus Manoy.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Watson, you were suing the defendant Marlana Manoy for $600. You say she didn't pay you for preparing her 2013 tax return.
Correct.
Tell me about your case.
My so-called friend, Marlana Manoy, called me up. This was my second year doing her taxes. She says, hey, Casey, can you do my taxes? I say, sure. I go over to her house in February.
Well, how did the two of you meet?
Well, we lived in the same apartment complex. We were neighbors, and we became very good friends throughout the time that we lived in the same apartment community, and we stayed in touch once both of us had moved and went our separate ways.
So you are a tax preparer. That's what you do for a living?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a tax preparer, and I'm an adult entertainer. And I've actually gotten one of the adult entertainment clubs that I work at to contract with the tax company so that girls can file their taxes and everything. So I dance full-time, and I do taxes seasonally. And I've been doing taxes since like 2006.
So you have no problem counting those dollar bills is what you're telling me?
Oh, I count money very well. If I can't do nothing else, I know how to count.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened? How did you come to this agreement to do the defendant's taxes?
So anyways, when she calls me up, I'm like, hey, Marlena, I'm like, you do hair and everything. Why don't you let me do your taxes? I've been doing taxes for a while. I used to work for a particular company. They taught me very well. I could probably get you more refund than whoever's been doing yours. She's like, okay, cool. I'll give you a chance. I do her taxes. I'm like, it's going to be $600. The $600 that I'm charging you includes audit service, peace of mind, which is like an insurance. Like if I need a copy of your tax return for the next 3 years, I will provide you one. If you need help with anything with your taxes, anything with the IRS, I'll go down there and talk with you.
Did the two of you sign a written agreement?
Yes, ma'am, and I have the contract as well.
Okay, let me see a copy of that. So at some point you say that the defendant did not pay you.
Yes,
correct?
okay.
So what happened?
This whole case is based off the fact that she does not trust me, that she does not believe that what happened has happened.
Why didn't you pay her the $600?
Because I never received my money. My check was stolen en route. Initially, what happened?
Your IRS refund check was stolen? Okay,
yes, ma'am.
What
And it's currently under investigation. I have the paperwork at hand. What happened was initially, it was to be direct deposited. And when it was going to be direct deposited, I had called my bank to ask them questions about certain things other than the transaction for the direct deposit. Now, that particular account was inactive for about 4 months. I was not notified that my account was closed. So I immediately called Casey and I told her that they need me to come down to the bank because they can't get any information from the computer. I have to present my identification. And I actually called her while I was in the bank.
So your account was closed at the bank, so the IRS could not do direct deposit.
Right.
So what happened? So they mailed you a physical check.
Right.
And what happened then?
I never received the check. We both went down to the IRS office and she heard everything that they had to say, that they were supposed to mail it March 11th and I would receive it no later than March 24th.
But that wasn't her fault that you didn't receive the check. She did do your taxes, right?
Yeah, she did it. She did a great job.
So why didn't you pay her?
I could not pay her because the check never came. And into the agreement in our contract is that when the money was received, that's when I would pay her.
So the issue was that the IRS had to mail her a physical check and she's saying the check was stolen, that you never actually received it.
Right.
So did you report that to the IRS?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You don't think that her check was stolen?
No, this is before the check. That's only even how she got to a check. Then I say, look, I'm gonna come get you. I'm gonna take you down to the IRS. I say, do you have a couple of dollars for gas you can give me? Her so-called senile aunt that's been cursing me out and doing all the talking for her.
My 82-year-old would never curse anybody out.
There's nothing wrong with her aunt. Her aunt stands up and walks around the house like the bailiff and she says the lady's on the deathbed, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't know anything about
her aunt has answered the phone several times and cursed me out. And look, we're not thieves. Marlena's gonna pay you your money. Yes, she did. And all I ever did was tell that. Well, when I say cursing me out, even though she didn't use a cuss word out her mouth, she got nasty and ugly with me and went on a rampage with me for about 10 minutes.
Because she was constantly coming to my house.
I came to her house 3 times, Your Honor. She's not answering. Your Honor, she's not answering the phone. She's not communicating. Okay, she just told you I filed the lawsuit on May the 5th. She didn't even contact the IRS to June. I came to your house 3 times.
There's a certain allotment.
All right, you owe me money. You're not contacting me. You're not telling me anything.
You think she got the check and she's just not paying you?
And I'm going to tell you why.
All right.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did an unpaid tax bill cause this friendship to go broke?
You're not calling me. You're not communicating. You just want me to take your word. We signed the contract. Her first word to me is, oh, you know how the IRS do. They say they mailed it out on that day.
I see so many of these cases, and whenever I have a case where people come in and they say, I'm going to pay you when I get my tax refund, it never happens.
And later, her bad behavior and his terrible temper put this poor pup in the middle of a bitter eviction battle.
I told Shannon again to get your dog under control. It's coming at me.
And then you kicked her in the head.
I kicked at it again.
You kicked her in the head.
I've heard enough about that.
Casey Watson says her former BFF is too cheap to cough up the tax preparation fee she owes the plaintiff. Defendant Marlana Monoy claims she doesn't owe a dime until she gets her tax refund.
Ma'am, please go on.
When March the 11th rolls around, when I'm the one who took her to the IRS when they told her they was going to mail her check on March the 11th and where it was going to go to. I say, Marlena, all right, cool, we cool. They're going to mail it out on March the 11th. Around the 1st of April, I'm like, have you got the check? Her first word to me is, oh, you know how the IRS do. They say they mailed it out on that day. They
don't talk like that.
It's going to take the whole 6 weeks. I say,
first of all, I'm not ghetto and I don't talk like that.
So you're calling the IRS a lie? You're going to say they didn't mail your check out on the 11th when they said they was going to do it? The next time I go by her house, I'm like, I don't have your number anymore. Have you heard from the IRS? What's going on? Keep in mind, Your Honor, I didn't
funny because I got a text and a phone call later that evening.
You're not calling me. You're not communicating. You just want me to take your word. We signed the contract. The contract said upon receipt. You received it in February when it went to your bank and it was sent back.
Did the IRS do an investigation? What did they find out happened to your check? Did they find out anything about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
Well, all they sent me was the copy of the check and the forms for me to officially claim that that was not me that gave permission to cash the check, that I was not the one that cashed the check. The check was cashed at a super Walmart. It was deposited in an account at a super Walmart in Lexington, South Carolina on April 3rd at 11:05 a.m. I have not been to Lexington, South Carolina.
And according to you, someone forced your signature on the check to cash it?
Yes, ma'am.
You never saw the money at all?
I never saw the money.
And that's why you haven't paid the plaintiff?
Exactly.
Why would you agree to allow someone to defer payment to you until after they've received their income tax return refund?
Yes, ma'am.
Because let me tell you, I see so many of these cases, and whenever I have a case where people come in and they say, I'm going to pay you when I get my tax refund, it never happens.
Okay, can I tell you why, Your Honor?
People don't pay when they get their tax refund.
Can I tell you why?
Okay.
First off, me and her were friends.
I wouldn't really consider us to be friends at all.
You don't consider us to be friends? Then
we had a rapport. We had a rapport, and we were
neighbors. When did we stop being friends? We wasn't friends. So when your gave you the STD and you hit the doctor stuck his arm up your stomach and you had just birthed your baby and cried on my shoulder, I wasn't your friend. When I used to come to your house 3 or 4 days out the week, I wasn't your friend.
Talk to me.
Okay,
talk to me.
Yes, ma'am. So, anyways, Your Honor, I had done her tax return before. This was my 2nd year doing it. We never had a problem. You being my friend, I trusted your word. That's when I said, well, when it's deposited to your bank, pay me. If I would have known her
or
bank
when the
account
money
was not
is
open,
received. I have not yet received the money.
This is interesting because you drafted this contract and the agreement was when the money was deposited in her account, then that's when you get paid.
And that was in February.
But that's not what the contract states. The contract actually states that the defendant agrees to pay you, Casey Watson, $600 on or around February 27, 2014, or upon deposit of a federal refund check.
Can I explain to you what that means?
No, ma'am. Please don't interrupt me.
Yes, ma'am.
What that means is you agreed to pay her by a certain date. with no conditions upon that, or you would pay when you got your federal refund check, one or the other. So the fact that you did not receive your refund check as you claim that you were defrauded, I don't know if that's true, I don't know if that's the case, doesn't matter because this contract says you owe her the money by February 27th anyway. So you owe her the $600 and you have to pay her the $600. I don't know what happened to your refund check. You can take that up with the IRS.
I have my paperwork that's under investigation.
You owe her $600 no matter what based on this contract. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600.
Thank you. And do I get my court costs, Your Honor? And do I get my court costs, Your Honor?
Yeah, they'll give it to you.
Thank you so much, Judge Faith Jenkins.
Plaintiff Bill Meeker says he thought he was helping the defendant when she was down on her luck by loaning her nearly $5,000. But now she's refusing to pay him back. Defendant Shannon Pinckney says she doesn't owe Bill anything because he injured her dog. She's countersuing for vet bills.
Okay, Bill Meeker.
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Shannon Pinckney for $4,400 for a loan you said the defendant failed to repay you.
Yes.
And Ms. Pinckney, you are countersuing for $5,000 for vet bills. You say the plaintiff kicked your dog and injured him?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Meeker, we'll start with you. What happened, sir?
In fall of 2013, she quit paying the rent.
Yeah, I quit
So
paying my
I
rent.
manage the property for somebody else. It's my responsibility to collect the rent. That's what we have rentals for. We worked with her. She was late dozens of times. We still let her slide and tried to make arrangements for her to be in there. A couple of weeks before she was going to be actually evicted, she came to me and begged me to stay in the place.
I begged to stay in a dump. Come on.
Because her daughter was going to graduate this past summer and she wanted to stay in there. She hadn't gone back to work yet because of her cancer and stuff like that.
Were you ill, Ms. Pinckney?
I was diagnosed soon after I moved into the duplex where I lived for 4 years, actually.
What were you diagnosed with? If you
I had
don't mind me
breast
asking?
cancer.
Okay. Are you doing better now?
I am. I'm in remission. Thank you.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Do you still live in the same apartment
heavens,
duplex?
no.
Okay. Okay, so you don't contest that you signed this agreement and this is what you agreed to, correct?
That he loaned me
That's
the
a
money?
yes or no question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. There's a handwritten note at the bottom of this agreement that talks about a 1962 Chevy truck. What was the agreement about collateral involving this truck?
Because Shannon had a history of not paying money, not having a job, and not being able to have any money, I told her that nobody would ever make a loan without some kind of collateral. She reminded me about a truck that was in her driveway previously and said that she would be glad to give it as security for the loan. I said that that would be agreeable. I would loan the money if she would sign over the pink slip to me as security. As a clarification, just to make sure that she could get the truck back because it's worth more than the $4,400.
Way more.
I also added a little thing on the bottom that you can read there that says if she pays me the money back, then I'll be glad to transfer the title back into her name. There was no question about me taking the title,
Not true.
transferring it into my name, and subsequently transferring it back to Shannon after she had paid me.
So what happened? Hold on
here's
1 second.
the problem, though. You put it in your name before the contract was even due, before the note was due.
That's the whole idea of
I want you to
security.
explain to me what you're talking about. So there was an agreement that the truck would be turned over to the plaintiff if you didn't pay the full amount on or before May 20th, 2014. You're saying he signed the title over to himself before that date?
Correct.
And why did you do that, sir?
When it looked like she wasn't going to be as creditworthy as we had hoped she would, I went ahead and finalized my security by transferring it into my name.
Next on Judge Faith, one of these performances is about to get canceled.
I asked Shannon to control it. She did not do it. I kicked at it and missed.
He kicked her and caught her right underneath here in her chin, so it made her brain swell.
Plaintiff Bill Meeker loaned the defendant nearly $5,000 that she is refusing to pay back. Defendant Shannon Pinckney says she doesn't know anything because the plaintiff injured her dog. She's countersuing for vet bills.
You didn't take possession of the truck ever, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And where was the truck during this time period?
When he did that, probably in my driveway.
Did you turn over the truck to him as part of this agreement?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because he came by my house in January. He kicked my dog so hard in the head that she had seizures for 3 weeks.
And that's your counterclaim.
That is my counterclaim.
Tell me about that.
He physically kicked her so hard.
This is all a lie.
It's a
You
lie.
saw
Did
that
see
for
her?
yourself?
Huh?
You saw that?
I did see it. I saw it. A neighbor saw it. Another neighbor saw it.
Why did you kick her dog?
Because the dog attacked me. I'll be glad to talk about that.
Oh,
Abby attacked you? Do we have a picture of Abby? I want to see
yeah.
this attack dog.
Please.
Okay, and this is Abby?
Oh, yeah. Vicious.
Abby is a
This
cute
looks
dog.
like a really small dog.
And
She
a
is
friendly
small.
dog, only about maybe 15 inches or so.
She is not, you mean tall or
Yeah.
long? Okay.
Well, fat, it's fatter, but
Okay, fat, whatever.
but
Oh, yeah. She's
but-
definitely going to hurt you.
Shannon did not always have that dog. She says 4 years. That's a lie to
Well,
me.
what
had that dog
happened?
since
What
she's been
happened, sir?
born.
Why did you kick the dog?
The dog was at the house, suddenly appeared at the house. When I asked her about, because it's contrary to the rental agreement for her to have a dog,
So why did you kick the dog?
because the dog attacked me. The dog.
How did the dog attack you, sir?
A few weeks before that, Shannon had told me she was keeping the dog for her friend was in prison. She had taken it to the vet 2 or 3 times at a cost of several $100s because it was having seizures.
What did he do to her?
He kicked her and caught her right underneath here in her chin, and it jarred her head back, so it made her brain swell. She had horrible seizures.
What happened when you took Abby to the vet?
We took her to the vet almost instantly. The neighbor who actually saw it said, "You need to get her in," because she looked almost confused, actually, like she didn't know where she was going. I have a video of what actually happened to her, an actual seizure that we taped for the vet, not knowing we would end up here. I still have the video.
Okay, let's watch the video. Tell me what's happening here.
What's the date of this video?
Don't interrupt.
She still has those. We had to time them. We had to wait 5 minutes. And as you can see, she's clearly not, she's having a seizure there and she's not being vicious. She's just, we had to wait 5 minutes before we could give her a shot to make that stop.
The reason I was there at the duplex was part of the eviction process. I had to post a
the two
notice.
of you weren't getting along. You were going over there about an eviction, and all of a sudden, after all the times you've been over there, now all of a sudden Abby wants to attack you, so much so that you have to kick her in the head.
She ran, yes, because she was under medication.
No.
That's what the vet bills were for, and that's what you told me they were for, and you told my handyman and me that she was aggressive
Bill,
because of the
you came
medication.
and you kicked
At
my
any
dog
rate,
in the head, and she did
ran
nothing
out of the
to you.
garage at me. I asked Shannon to control it. She did not do it. I kicked at it and missed.
Good
The dog
thing.
ran back about 6, 8, 10 feet. And I told Shannon again to get your dog under control. It's
And
coming
then you
at me.
kicked her in the head.
I kicked at it again.
Kicked her
and
in the
missed.
head.
I've heard enough about that.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
I don't think that the dog was attacking you and that you kicked that dog because you were defending yourself from a vicious attack. After looking at the photos, after looking at the video of the dog, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. And in looking at all of your vet bills as well, I'm not sure that he's responsible for the full amount of $5,000, but you do bear some responsibility because I think you injured this dog and the dog suffered blunt force trauma because you kicked the dog, and I think you were angry. You were going over there, you guys were in the middle of an eviction,
Well, it's not true.
and you kicked the dog because you were upset.
That's not true.
Well, I think it is true.
Definitely true.
Okay.
On your claim against the defendant, I find that she did default on this agreement and that she does owe you $4,400 per your agreement. On your counterclaim, however, I find that the plaintiff did kick your dog and intentionally tried to injure your dog, and it actually resulted in injury to your dog. So I find in your favor in the amount of $2,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that means, sir, that there is a net judgment in your favor in the amount of $1,900 verdict for the plaintiff.